Welcome to the Land Your Bet Sports Betting Show. Got two more play-in games here on Friday. Last two teams remaining in each conference to see who gets the 8 seed. I'm going to be looking at the Eastern Conference in this one. We got the Hawks hosting the Heat. Going to be going through the player props that I like and everything that we've got to look at in this game. Also got to look at who I like to win as well for you guys. We are down 2 units on the play-in so far. That's 4 games. Not feeling too great about it, obviously, but feel good about these 2 games that we've got here. I've got a lot of really good notes, including the matchups and everything that we've been going through since the play-in started. So if that all sounds good, give this video a like. Let's get right into it. As we get into these matchups here, quick reminder that if you want to jump into the VIP section of the Discord and get access to all the plays that I'm betting in the NBA playoffs, as well as to those VIP cappers, such as Buddy Irons, who is up a really good amount so far in just about a month of the MLB season, use code YOFS25. That'll get you 50% off your first 3 months in there, take you through the playoffs, and then right into the W as well, if you guys want to tag along for the ladies' hoops. Kicking it off with the Heat here on offense. Tyler Hero coming off that massive game against the Bulls. Dyson Daniels going to be out there for pretty much all of the Hero minutes. That's going to be the main defender on him. Probably not getting much help either. A lot of one-on-one stuff for them. Hero's had some pretty good games versus Daniels in the, on the season so far. 2 good ones, 2 ones. So we'll take a look at Hero here in a minute. But Alec Burks, he starts, but really Davion Mitchell is going to come in and play another at least 35 minutes, which is what we saw him play here in this last game. And when he's played the Hawks since he's come to the Heat, and really since he's been anywhere, he's a Trae Young stopper of sorts, right? Like this is going to be the dude, Davion Mitchell, who's going to come out there and be out there for a ton of minutes, really as often as Trae is out there. We might even see him start over Alec Burks, but because Burks has started and only played 15 minutes, we see Spo do that a lot with guys. We might get him to do that in this one as well. Wiggins and Ricochet. The interesting thing about this matchup last time, well, when Wiggins was on the Heat playing the Hawks here, there was a few things that were different. Like Mo Gay didn't play in that game, so it was actually a little bit different in the last one, where you actually saw Ricochet guarded Ware and did a pretty good job on him, and then we saw like Vit Krejci guarding Andrew Wiggins. But now that we have these lineups, I think you're going to see Ricochet on Wiggins out there, and then you're going to see Mo Gay on Ware, right? Because now you have a bigger guy like Ware who can go out there and guard, like a bigger guy like Gay rather, who can go out there and guard Ware. And Ricochet is a proven good defender. Like we'll probably see him on Wiggins for the minutes that he's out there. He might be getting a few more minutes, Ricochet, just because he's played pretty well, not on offense necessarily, but he hasn't been a problem on defense, and that's kept his minutes a little bit higher than you might expect. And then the last matchup there is Adebayo and Okongwu. Those guys are just going to guard each other and just bang bodies all night. It's just going to be probably like a pretty fun matchup to watch between 2 really similarly sort of built guys and 2 guys with pretty similar games on offense and especially on defense. As we look at the Hawks offense, I just went ahead and put Davion Mitchell in, right? Because even if he doesn't start, he's going to be out there, and that sort of changes the complexity of things. He's the Trae Young guy, right? That's going to be what happens. Hero and Daniels, that'll be the same matchup there. Wiggins and Ricochet, same concept. If you see Caris LeVert out there for a lot of minutes in place of Ricochet, that'll be the Wiggins matchup. Same thing with like Terrence Mann, that'll be the matchup for Wiggins. And then Adebayo, he'll probably actually more likely, he'll be on Okongwu for a lot of this game. But what we've seen when they've started out this way for the Heat is that Ware guards the biggest guy on the floor. So there's a good chance that we see a lot of, double bigs, whether it's Gay and Okongwu or Niang and Okongwu. I think Adebayo and Ware will switch back and forth. To start the game, you'll probably see Adebayo on Gay. I don't think they want him to get into too much foul trouble, and they probably want him able to stay, play a little bit more free safety. Whereas if he's guarding Okongwu, he's really gonna have to stay on Okongwu versus playing Gay. He can kind of keep an eye on other things because he doesn't have to worry about Mo Gay when he's on offense. So this is how it'll start, but things will mix and match a little bit in that front court with Adebayo and Ware. And I mean, there's not really that much to say about it in terms of how things will be impacted other than expect those minutes from Davion Mitchell, like I said. To summarize real quick, Gay and Ricochet, I wouldn't count on them having like very few minutes. We faded Ricochet last game. I'm a little bit worried that now if I would try to do that we might see Quinn Snyder keep his guy out there for a little bit to give him a little bit more size and athleticism against guys like Khalil Ware and Bam, who are going to be out there. Same thing, like I said, for Ricochet and Gay, the defense probably going to be there for them. Dyson Daniels, going to get big minutes, 36 to 40, right? Would not be surprised if he got low 40s, high 30s at least in this one. And then Davion Mitchell, mid 30s is where I'm putting his floor as well. We could see him play as much as 37. And then Okongwu and Bam, both going to have tough matchups in this game in a way that doesn't really make me want to bet on either of their overs. So just a couple things to keep in mind. As always, going to be using Props Madness to show you guys what we're doing on the show here. If you do want to jump in and don't yet have access to this platform, it is the most efficient and effective way to be betting sports player props, really specifically. specifically for the NBA and the W when you get into the summer games there with the ladies. But use code LYB, get yourself 25% off your first month. This will also get you 7 free days if you want to trial it out and check it out for yourself before you start spending any money on it. But if you are going to be betting on the playoffs, highly recommend using this for the rest of the way that you're going there. Let's kick it off with this, a couple of guys that I'm looking at here. And I want to start with an over rather than any kind of unders that I will be talking about here in a minute. But I do like Davion Mitchell in a couple ways, and we are getting some really, really nice numbers here on his over 1.5 threes specifically for Davion. 1.5 threes is plus 180. And here's what I'm looking at for him, right? Let's look at him head to head versus the Hawks here on the season. And really, obviously, these last two are what I'm looking at. He got 37 minutes in February when he was came over here to the Heat, and then 36 minutes against them on March 27th. Which is what I told you, right? Is that he's going to be playing at least those many minutes. This is a playoff game. It's do or die for this team, sudden death, and they're going to have to win. So he's going to be out there guarding Trae for the bulk of the minutes that Trae's out there. That's why I said I wouldn't be surprised if he starts in this game as well. But here's the thing that stands out. 5 3-point attempts in this one. Yes, I see he made 5. That's great. But I'm focused on the 5 3-point attempts and the 5 attempts in this game as well. If you're telling me Davion Mitchell is taking 5 threes and I'm getting nearly 2-1 on my money for him to make 2 of 5, it's 40%. Like, yeah, it's a little bit high for a guy that's closer to like a 35% 3-point shooter, but I'm going to take that bet at nearly 2-1. The odds make it such that it's basically worth it, right? If you want to look at the points as well for him, I get that. I think the points are probably the simplest play here. Take over 10 plus. The way that I'm looking at that is not necessarily the head-to-head stuff, but let's look at games where he's played with Hero, with Bam, and with Wiggins, so that we're not, forgetting any games that those guys were in, taking points away from him. First of all, we just leave it in 17 games that he's played with them. We're at 11 points per game for him, right? When he's played with these guys, his usage has gone up. If we look at the field goal attempts, he's up to about 7.2 when he's playing with these guys versus 6.5 on the season. And remember, he was playing with the Raptors, obviously, for a bit of this. But the key thing here for the field goal attempts, too, is let's actually take the minutes, because if we're projecting big minutes for him, some of these games he played way fewer than he's going to play in this one. So let's give him a floor of just 30 for a minute, which I still think is a low projection for him. Now we're talking about 12.9 points per game, over in 10 of 12, right? Including one against the Hawks where he scored the 20 that he had there. He did have a really good shooting night, but if he takes 8 shots, including 5 threes, I do like him against a pretty soft Hawks perimeter defense, especially because he's getting an easier matchup, right? If he's got Trae on him, that's a huge part of this, is that we like him to have a really soft matchup. But let's go even higher. Let's say he plays like 34 minutes, which is, again, what I think his floor is. Now we're closer to about 14. And that's what I think we're going to see for Davion again, is his usage is so, or his minutes are so high that it doesn't matter that he's not a focal point of the offense. It just matters that he's out there for long enough with an easy matchup in Trae Young being his primary defender, that he's going to be a good look for some points in this one. Moving to Andrew Wiggins real quick. Go ahead and give the video a like. If you're getting anything out of what we're doing here, it goes a long way to support the channel, so much appreciated there. Let's go ahead and, like I said, look at Wiggs here, the Canadian, and look at his points to start here. So I've got a couple filters already up, which is just him playing with Hero and Adebayo, right? I'm actually going to add Davion Mitchell in there as well. The key here is that when he's on the court with Davion Mitchell, things go way up for him. But let's get to that in a sec. Let's at least focus on Hero, Adebayo, Mitchell, the games he's played with the Heat with these guys. He's got 17 games. He's at 19.5 points per game, right? But again, he hasn't played the minutes that he's going to play in this game the whole time. He's played 28 here, 33, I think is still probably a low projection for him. But let's give him a floor of 30 once again, because there ain't no way that he's playing fewer minutes than that, and it should be closer to about 35. But even if we just give him 30 as his floor, we're already at 23 points per game. Well, let's say 42 seems like too high of a ceiling. So we're going to move that minutes filter down to like 36. Still at 23 points per game in these situations. Granted, he got helped out by a 42 piece here against the Hornets. This team is at least better than the Hornets. And I will say he went under in one game here against the Hawks where he's played with the Heat. In this one, right, he shot 6 for 15. I'm still good with him taking 15 field goals to get us. I'm just going to outline this to 20 points. I don't see the reason to take the 18.5. I'll just take 20 plus for even money on FanDuel for his points. And if you look at the other game against the Hawks, 6 for 14, 4 for 9 for 3, still shot poorly from deep, from the field, but shot well from deep and got to the free throw line 7 times. So I think he's going to have the easiest of the matchups too, between Hero having Mitchell on, or having Dyson Daniels on him, and then Wiggs probably looking at Shai, LeVert, guys that I'm very confident that he can still handle. So I like his points in this one. He had a horrible shooting game against the Hawks in this last game. Let me get the minutes up because I think he played a few more as well, right? What did he play in this against the Hawks? Oh, we're not going to get there's the Bulls, excuse me. In the Bulls, he shot horribly, 8 for 20 from the field, still got to the 20 points because he took so many shots and got the volume to go in from deep. So like Wiggs, because there's a lot of ways that he can still easily get to 20 points in this game. Moving over to Trae Young for a minute. Got to consider that he's going to have Davion on him the whole time. So Trae's going to end up being a stay away from me. I'll just tell you that. I'm not going to just comfortably go under. It's 25.5 points. If you look at head-to-head, it's a tale of two stories between the first 3 games they played and the last one, right? And granted, Davion wasn't even there for the first game that they played, but he was there for the last 3, including the one where Trae got 29 points in 36 minutes, took 21 shots. We could very well see that again, right? So I'm not in a rush to go over or under on Trae because I think his volume is going to remain so high. I do think there's a human aspect to that. He's pissed that he got thrown out of this last game, and he's sort of iced Trae at this point. Like there is some, at least some legitimacy enough to that it keeps me from just going under on him. But look at the way that the Heat have defended him, like since last season, right? We're talking about 13 shots, 11 points on 14 shots, and then 12 shots and 17 points. But keeping Trae to 12, 11 shots is ridiculous, much less keeping him to under 20 points in all those games. Look at last season. He had a lot better games on the November game and the December game. Guess who was missing on the Heat for both of those games? First of all, there was no Davion Mitchell, and any of the stoppers, including Jimmy, that you might throw on Trae, missed those games for him. So last year, there's reasons why he went over. This year, the only thing keeping me from going under in this game is that he's likely to take as many shots as he can absolutely get off, close to 20. And if he gets to 20 shots, I don't really want to go under on him. One more bet I have for this game that I'm hoping to put down tomorrow, not putting anything down on the card the day before, as most of you know, is that is a great way to get the books to notice you, is that they're going to see that you're getting really good early bets in that get good closing line value, then they're going to ping you. But we are going to be betting on this hopefully tomorrow, and I'm just being stubborn and going back to Caris LeVert. And this time I would go to the PRA as a combo instead of just the points, because I do think that he's likely to have some pretty good games here against the Heat. The first one here, if we look at the last game, just looking at this game against Orlando, right? He did get there on he had seven points, but he got 6 boards, 3 assists, which is what we would need him to get in this game to really be comfortably over on the 18.5 PRA. He only played 25 minutes, though, because he lost about 3 to 4 minutes at the end of the game when it became garbage time, because all of a sudden they were down 25 in the middle of the fourth quarter, and he just shot like crap, right? Like he shot 3-11 from the field. That's an anomaly. That's not something that he does normally. So we like him to have a pretty good bounce back game on the points alone. If we look at the head-to-head stuff here, there's a couple things going on. Like he has had some really good games on the PRA in general, and some spots, actually everywhere is still 19.5, on the PRA. But if we get him there, yes, he had one under earlier in the season. Obviously, he was still on the Cavs, but the last 3 games here, he was on the Hawks, right? And we're talking about decent enough rebound chances, potential assists, and field goal attempts that if he's at these numbers of like 12 shots, 7 chances for the boards, 5 chances on the dimes, I like all of this for him to go over, right? So that's what I like. He's, again, probably going to have not necessarily an easy matchup. Wiggins is a good defender, but it's not like he's going to have like a lockdown dude on him in this game that we should necessarily be worried about. So I think about 18.5 if we can get it. 19.5 is still going to be playable for me. I do like Caris LeVert to have a nice bounce back game and get us some overs in this one. Last thing here, Bam Adebayo. You saw me do it last week. I think I got to go back to an under for him. The rebounds and assists, they're a little bit lower at 13.5. The PRA are at 33.5. That's a pretty good under for me. Like what I've got here is just him with Hero, Wiggins, and Mitchell all playing this season. And in these games, he's looking at 29.6 PRA. That includes 3 against the Hawks, as you can see here, all with all 3 of those guys playing. And in those games, 15 rebound chances, just 2 potential assists. Here we had 8 potential assists, 17 rebound chances. In the last one, 10 rebound chances, 5 potential assists. The thing you notice here is 38 minutes, 35 minutes, 37 minutes. He's still playing huge minutes, and that's what you expect him to play in this one, right? He played 36 in the game against Orlando. No reason to think he would play more than 36 to 40 in this one, and that's what he's been playing in all these games. It's still going under. So I'm a little bit shy on this one because he screwed us with the RA yesterday by getting 3 rebounds in the last 2 minutes of the game. 3 rebounds in the last 2 minutes, and he had 1 in the second half before that. So we just got a little bit, no, we got very unlucky. That one was undeserved in my opinion. But if we had added the points to the under as well, we would have gotten there with Bam. And that's what I'm going to do in this one, is go under on the full PRA for him. All right, make sure you are subscribed to that channel. Don't forget to check out the other episode up for the Western Conference games there with Memphis and Dallas. And if you do want to jump into the VIP, got that little code for you, YOFS25. That'll get you 50% off your first 3 months. So hope to see you in the other episode. And until I do, happy betting.